spine flexion EQI, or eccentric quasi isometric. So you can see here I've sat down, obviously got a rope cable here, got my feet against the pole behind me just to get a bit of support, and then I've got my my butt basically against that little bar there just to make sure I stay still. And then I've got my lumbar spine at about 45 degrees and I'm getting to as much flexion as I can. Now, the idea here is I'm actually holding flexion for as long as I possibly can, almost trying to hold this isometrically, but I'm also moving through the side bending here, nice and slow and controlled. The side bend is not as important as the flexion. Make sure you absolutely focus on the flexion. Now, over time, if you're doing this for a minute, for 2 minutes, for 3 minutes, you're trying to stay in as much flexion as possible, but as your abs and everything on that front starts to fatigue, you'll start obviously straightening up. Now, one of the reasons why your hips are down at that 45-degree angle with your lumbar spine is as you progress through this movement and you start fatiguing, that will allow you to still be using the front of your core, your abs, whilst even getting into extension. You're absolutely fighting this as much as you possibly can. The end of this rep is when you get to full extension because your stomach and your abs basically just do not hold you down there anymore. Once you get up to this point, you'll probably find that it'll be a little bit more difficult to do the side bend at that point. Really just focus on keeping that flexion as much as you possibly can. This is me just tilting forward at the hips a little bit more so I can just get a little bit more through that extension phase as well. Enjoy.